Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and it's great to see you all watching today. Welcome to the debut episode of Digni System Crash. This is the pilot episode, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is just testing a proof of concept. I don't expect many people to watch, but I appreciate everyone for watching live and watching on the replay. But before we catch up with the chat, we're going to introduce the panel, and we've got a great panel for today's show, folks. A fantastic panel. They're all white men, except Jose, who's Mexican. Okay, folks? That is the ideal panel for a system crash. So it's great to see you guys. I hope you're all doing well. This is now the fourth attempt to revive System Crash. The first time had nothing to do with me or my mentor. The original System Crash was started off by will of the fans and his great group of people. Unfortunately, that failed, which then led to my mentor starting up reality-based System Crash. You know, the great reviver, taking things that are dead and sticking reality-based on them to get them to work again. But then he got wiped out. So then we decided to reboot the show again through the network, and that was Noise Pollution's System Crash. And due to creative differences, that ended up going the way of the dinosaur, and it led to such a dark path for the man who left that he's now given up panel shows entirely. Boo-hoo. And now, folks, we're here. We're not queer, and we're going to steer into catching up with the chat. So it's great to see Jose, great to see October Sky, great to see me, great to see Saint Hugo, and feel free, panelists, to be talkative in the chat if you don't have the time to talk on the panel. Of course, great to see Saint Hugo. Yes, I was even shilling a video while the show was waiting. Smash JT Explored. Chill JT has come to life, folks. He's now selling tea that looks like weed. Okay? Okay? It's great to see Jose again. See, look, there are two of them. There are two of them. I wish they could be cloned that easily.
I wish I could be cloned.
Yeah. Jose has to work a very busy schedule, but it's good to see Byron. It's good to see Plamini. I think we've caught up with everyone, all these great people. Folks, we're not monetized, so just like the stream, okay? In fact, I think it's a good thing that we're not monetized. Do you know why? Because of the last topic. The last topic is crazy, but we'll get to that a little later. I know, Triton. I know it's crazy. It is $400 a kilo, so it might as well be green cocaine. But on that note, it's great to see Slay. It's great to see Slay. I hope you're doing well, my good man. Slay's been having some technical troubles as of late, folks, but hopefully, once he gets his systems back online, you could say he suffered from a system crash. Hey! But hopefully, when he gets his systems back online, everything will be fine and dandy. So on that note, since we've caught up with everyone, great to see Rhoda. I hope you're doing well, Rhoda. Always great to see Rhoda. In fact, he's been having some good shows with Lilith. The show's called The Scheitgeist, which is one hell of a name for a show, but we appreciate you, Rhoda. And now, because I've forgotten to shut my door, we're going to catch up with everyone on the panel. We'll go from top to bottom. We'll start off with Jose. Jose, how have you been since we last had a good talk?
Well, took a day so I could be here for the inaugural episode of the show. I may not always be available on Wednesdays, but I'm here today. My co-host John on Cancel's podcast, and you had a great conversation yesterday over on Rumble, talking about crazy black women named Candace, which seems to be my co-host's new favorite pastime. I'm pretty sure he would hate fuck her. I'm pretty sure he would, but that's another story entirely. Anyway, of course, I'm
Ew.
I'm just hanging in there. Look, I don't want to see the John Candace Jungle Fever tape any more than you do, but I'm just worried it might be an inevitable reality at the rate that he's going. That's like the 80th time that he's sort of just completely lost his shit on Candace Owens existing.
It is funny because she is nuts, but she is
And he
going
wants to
crazy.
give her his nuts.
Something about Egyptian airplanes and Nissans and all sorts of shit.
Will you take the blue airplane or the red airplane, ladies and gentlemen? But no, in all seriousness, it's always good to have Jose on a network show, and we're very grateful for him being on. This show is a pilot, folks. It is a proof of concept show. I didn't want Digni to start his own show this early. Unfortunately, circumstances led to that. But I appreciate the 8 people who are watching live. So thank you. Like the stream, share the stream. I would say donations are always welcome, but we're not monetized. So one of the pluses of doing a show is we can boost the watch hours up a little. So what about you, Plowny? First time talking to you. How have you been?
Well, actually, we are talking like the second time. We had the show together like maybe, I don't know, a year ago or something, yeah?
I don't remember. And please
Was
call me Digni.
Yeah, Digni. We did like a show on your previous channel, maybe like ending of 2024 or just the beginning of this year, something like that. And yeah, compared to that time, I've been doing good. Life has been better. But unfortunately, yeah, I wanted to join you like a few times before this. Couldn't actually do it. And it seemed like I was avoiding you or something, but now yeah, we are here and like let's just get going. So
It's good to have Plamini here. This has been a long time in the making, and I'm very grateful for this collaboration.
yeah,
A
I'm
lot
grateful for
has
the invite. Yeah.
yes, well, thank you for being here. It's been a long time, Plamini, but a lot has changed, and quite a bit has stayed the same as well. Now we're going to go to Triton before the weed whacker comes and ruins everything. Triton, live from the porch. How have you been?
I've been actually doing good. Today I took my computer in to get it fixed, so you won't see me on the porch anymore after tomorrow because I pick it up tomorrow. I've been working on on my show, Ravencast. I've actually used StreamYard now, like you've suggested, and it's actually StreamYard's working way better because all you gotta do is just set up the panel and go live. So I really like that suggestion, and the show's been running way better with StreamYard because OBS had so much technical difficulties. With StreamYard, we've been solid. So,
Oh, that's the great thing about StreamYard is that it's a solid foundation that you can use for free up to 20 hours per month. So that's 10 2-hour shows with a panel of 6. That is a fantastic start for a creator just starting out. Although it does get expensive in the long run if you want to expand upon that. So, folks, rake it in. Monetize and rake it in before you start paying for StreamYard. If you're paying for StreamYard as an unmonetized creator, you might as well take mental courses from Furious Dan because you are that much of a sucker.
it charged me like $80 randomly, so it's really expensive, which I'm really confused about. But I was gonna look into that.
Oh damn, that's the advanced one. No, stick to the free one. And don't go into free trials. They're always baits and switches. But how about you, Saint Hugo? I know you've been a little quiet, but how have you been?
Yeah, I'm still having an ear on my kids, whether or not they are actually sleeping. And talking of those, I'm glad to have the opportunity to talk about something else than Legos for a change or school topics and stuff.
Oh, I'd love to talk about Lego, but I
I
don't want
love
to.
Legos, but
But I don't want to
uh,
talk to children. Children piss me off more than adults.
Damn.
well, I do like my own children,
Yeah.
but the others, yeah.
It's because I can't just tell them straight, look, fucker, stop doing that, or you're getting punished, because they'll start.
You should try. Works.
Hmm? Well, you're from a second world country, so you're allowed to do that. I can't even say boo to a goose to a young person these days without getting arrested.
I don't know. You can still like tell them like, kid, like fuck off. You're being a dick.
Oh, damn. We got to arrest Plamini. We got to arrest him right now, ladies.
Arrest
Oh, boy.
FBI, open up.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
in
just have to
Wales,
bribe one kid to
Look.
tell the other kid off.
Look, you just
disciplining.
gotta
We can skip that. You know, we
You
can
just gotta get creative.
go straight.
Like,
Like if a kid is being like annoying, you can just like tell him to piss off. So
you gotta get
Dis-
creative. You gotta get like that guy on 4chan who said he used to discipline his kid dressed like Pepsi Man. He'd be like, I wonder what Pepsi Man will think about this.
or the
Well,
Grinch.
on his son.
There's your Christmas surprise, ladies and gentlemen. The Grinch is coming home for Christmas. In Wales, disciplining your child in the UK is a crime. Like saying boo to a black goose. It is a crime. So what about you, Byron? How have you been? Live from your basement, how have you been?
It's actually the garage, but I've been doing all right, Digny. I've been largely spending a great deal of time working on my current novel in progress, as well as writing some articles on behalf of the network, doing sort of retrospective, broader looks or deeper dives into singular topics that have been covered by the show. I put out a piece this morning on my Substack regarding Disney Plus's AI slop potential mechanism that they're going to roll out to users of their services. So, very much interested to get some feedback on that when folks have if and when folks have the opportunity. Otherwise, just being dad, working my regular day job, which I'm already dressed and ready to head in for shortly, and doing a lot of reading. This has been a fantastic read thus far. Peter Straub, Shadowlands. I loved his ghost story. Did an extensive review on that like a year and a half ago. I adore this one thus far.
The rarest of Americans, he reads a book. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have a stellar panel for today's show. It's hard finding women to do this because the only women you can really find to do this are ones and tens, right? That's why Stark's found a lovely lady in the Ginger Wolf, a lovely lady, very capable, and on non-YouTube shows, she shows her boobies. So of course people are gonna watch her when she's on Stark's show. But and you wonder why Stark joined the network. Triton, you got any nice, lovely ladies in your cadre?
I got a few, but most of them are taken though. Most of them already got partners.
Wow,
Someone needs to
good for
get
them.
Digny a lady on here before he asks me to bring my 73-year-old mother onto the camera.
Yeah, I saw her quite close on camera, and I'm thinking, damn, you look good for 73, lady.
That sort of shit is the whole reason my wife, when she went to go pick up our son from daycare, did not lean in to give me a kiss. She didn't want to be on camera, even though we weren't on the show yet. I had to get up and go off camera to give her a kiss and say, see you later. Because she knew from the last time she showed up for a moment on screen, you immediately, Digny, went, ooh, she's quite the looker. Piss off. That's my woman.
Oh boy.
You
There's
see,
a reason
folks,
I leave before my girlfriend gets here.
See, folks, I'm having a whale of a time, and it hasn't even been 15 minutes. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everyone for being here, whether it's live or on replay. If you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. I would say donations are always welcome, but we're not monetized, and that's probably a good thing. Looking at where YouTube is heading, because chargebacks can ruin you, But on that note, we'll cover that a little later. First topic, I'll write it down for 14 and a half minutes. And the first topic, folks, is a very interesting one. We got 6 topics, 2 hours, so we're most likely going to have to blitz through them. Call of Duty has lost its mind as Black Ops 7 goes nuts. Do you know what I think of when I think of a Call of Duty game? I think of a massive undead zombie soldier that's 1,000 foot tall, just exploding all over the battlefield, folks. That's what I think when I think of Call of Duty, if I was in some Fortnite acid dream. Ever since that franchise went over to Xbox as part of Activision Blizzard, Call of Duty, just like most of the gobbled up Xbox franchises, has gone through the floor. And I want to give people a visual example of this.
Oh boy.
So thank goodness for bookmarks, ladies and gentlemen. Thank goodness for bookmarks. No, that's the one about the Saudis. We don't want that yet. There we go. Thank you. Courtesy of VG Times. I thought we were going to have a new LGBT group with that statement, folks. But courtesy of VG Times. Is that big enough for you guys?
Yeah,
Let me
I
see if I can change this real quick. There we go. That'll do. Courtesy of VG Times, quote, Black Ops 7 campaign gets slammed online. Players call it absurd and nonsensical. Well, you think?
So just like any other Activision Blizzard game.
What the fuck is this?
I mean, Call of Duty was always glossy crap, basically, from the very first one.
It's a 50-foot tall white man, the biggest enemy of the developers of the woke Call of Duty franchise.
Guys, I'd rather Kevin Spacey return to Call of Duty than play this, folks. Right? What the fuck are we doing? What is this? This isn't Call of Duty.
It looks like the God of War, but with guns, proper
It looks
guns.
like something out of Doom. First thoughts, gentlemen. Triton.
I would say the movements on the creature design kind of make me think back to the collector like human reaper from the end of Mass Effect 2.
Yes, it looks just like that. How it's operating, how it's
the movement model, the telegraphing of the large arms swipe overhead. I remember, playing as Shepard, trying to duck behind cover as collectors were sent out to swarm, and after you clear them out, you can take a shot at the eyes, which were glowing red, just like this creature model on screen in that whatever the hell that is.
Okay, Triton, what game is this from? Because this does not look like Call of Duty.
I don't know. It looks like reminds me of like a Borderlands type of game. Like, this is definitely not Call of Duty. It's definitely not a Warzone game at all.
What the fuck is this?
What the
Wait a minute, did he just get eaten by
Call of Duty? This is not Call of Duty. Isn't Call of Duty supposed to be a Warzone game?
That looks like a shot from one of Dicker's colonoscopies.
Oh my god. We'll get to Dickers later, but Jose, right? What are your first thoughts on battling a giant blood flower in Black Ops 7?
First of all, I've seen what my mother plants outside, so this might be my future within like 3 years' time. But that being said, it's not Call of Duty. This is embarrassingly ridiculous. This is just one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And this is par for the course for Activision Blizzard Microsoft whatever it is. We've seen World of Warcraft also become ridiculous and absurd and lose its identity. Now we've got 50-foot tall white men in Call of Duty, which is obviously the biggest threat to these black DEI lesbians. But the one thing that they made the mistake of is that modders are going to have a field day with this. I can't wait until modders turn this into like a 50-foot tall Michelle Obama, a 50-foot tall Jeffrey Epstein. You're gonna see like Chris Chan up there like fighting you 50 feet tall. Like there's gonna be modders that are gonna take this and turn it into the biggest shitpost imaginable, and it's not gonna do any wonders for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I think that this game is a joke.
The flower, folks. The flower gets replaced with Cyrax, and when the flower's head opens up, it will be Cyrax's maggoty brain, folks. Type in Cyrax lolcow on YouTube and you will see horrors beyond your comprehension. But before we go into this topic in any like real detail, folks, I think it's important to get to get more of a context for this situation. So, gamers have finally made it to the Black Ops 7 campaign, and many are calling it one of the weirdest and weakest in the series. Well, that's putting it lightly. Here's what people are complaining about. Enemies have levels, guns come in rarity tiers, and the whole progression system is built around constantly upgrading your gear. That seems more like a role-playing game than...
That's what Triton said. That's Borderlands. That's essentially Borderlands.
It's ridiculous, folks. Call of Duty is supposed to be an action-oriented, single-player story game with no real choice. You're just playing the campaign and going through a linear story with lots of fantastical levels full of detail, and you shoot bad guys. Okay, that's Call of Duty. And for the online element, they take that element and apply it to a multiplayer setting. Almost every mission ends with a boss fight. Giant flowers, mechs, teleporting soldiers, and even a massive Harper, the guy, the 50-foot tall guy. Players say it feels more like Borderlands than Call of Duty. Again, fantastic point. The campaign is clearly designed for a 4-player squad. Playing solo makes missions feel empty and dragged out, so there's not a lot of detail in these missions because you need a cooperative environment to fully function within them. The most talked about moment, a mission where your squad teams up with zombie. What? A lot of fans are seriously questioning if this is even a real campaign or just some kind of test P versus E event. And this folks, I can't look at this anymore. It is absolutely insane. All right. This is crazy. This is unbelievable. And I don't think this is on in the long term. It shouldn't be on.
It's not Call of Duty at that point if they keep doing stuff like this.
No, of course not. I think Triton has hit the nail on the head here. Right? Call of Duty. Okay, folks, 7 Black Ops games is too many games, okay? You know you're running out of ideas when a potted plant is a boss. Except for Super Mario. They had a reason for doing that.
First Resident Evil had one, Plant 42.
And yeah, but they were more original and imaginative examples. But Plamini, after seeing all of that, what do you make of this crazy situation?
To me, like, I never really cared about like Call of Duty, never played it, but I know what it is, and this doesn't look like Call of Duty because it looks like a God of War game. If someone like gave Kratos a gun instead of an axe, or if someone made like a 50-foot tall instead of a Greek god, it's just like a random white guy. I have no idea what this is, honestly.
It's ridiculous. This fits much more with God of War and with Borderlands than it does with Call of Duty, folks. We're just going to hit this nail right on the head because it's a big problem. When games go against their origins, they are not long for this world. What are they going to do with Black Ops 8? Are they just going to be like, oh, instead of a giant person, it's a giant zombie person, and we'll make it a zombie event and all that hogwash? It is clearly ridiculous. And we actually have a part-time game dev with us today, folks, in St. Hugo. Hugo, what do you make of this insane situation?
Well, as I said before, I was never a fan of Call of Duty. I've been playing Wolfenstein 3D and Doom when they came out, so I'm a bit older. And when the first Call of Duty hit the shelves, it was just, from my point of view, a rather boring, run-of-the-mill military shooter. And, well, it is about time they get desperate. It doesn't matter if they go with a potted plant. This dumpster fire just keeps me warm at night. Something to laugh at. That series should just die. It should have done so long ago, after the first entry, basically.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
This is Hugo is a German with a sense of humor. They're not usually as upbeat as Hugo is here. So,
but you know what I was going to say about this, and this is the thing that's sad, is this is just an example of what happens when your brand becomes so large that you think that it's too big to fail, and people are just going to buy it regardless. They're not going to pay attention to the content. They're just going to just churn it out, just churn out the slop, and people eat whatever you throw at them. You could serve them a plate of shit, they're going to buy it. And this is what's happened to Call of Duty. They just figure, oh, we're too big to fail. We can do whatever we want, and we're not going to get chumped over it. And they were wrong. I think that people are looking at this like, where the hell is Call of Duty? I spent $70 to buy a Call of Duty game, and I found what seems to be Borderlands mixed with a hint of Resident Evil, mixed with a hint of, I have no idea what the hell this is. And that's bad.
I'll tell you this, folks, right? When something gets too big, it has to fail, right? That is the mindset that we need to understand, right? There's no such thing as too big to fail. It's you're so big, you must fail. But Byron, what do you make of this whole situation? Any additional points on all this?
Yes, just a couple briefly. Firstly, that Bloodflower thing puts me in mind of an old Clive Barker short story from his second Books of Blood, a story called A Walk in the Park, wherein the primary protagonist who is telling the story talks about how he woke up one day in what he referred to as Un-London. It was kind of a strange nightmare version of the city he knew and loved. And when he went to go walking through a nearby park close to his apartment, he saw that the plant life, the flowers, had grown gigantic and carnivorous and were chasing down and eating the homeless people who used the park as their refuge. So it put me in mind immediately of that story, but that would be ascribing literary ability to anyone working on this project, which I don't think exists. I already mentioned that the giant harper, again, the model and the movements put me immediately in mind of the Collector Reaper from Mass Effect 2. It's like the folks working on Call of Duty have not only decided they're too big to fail, but they're too big for anybody to recognize that they are pretty much copy and pasting intellectual property ideas and concepts that have been done far better by far more relevant individuals, if someone could point to the original material that they're being stolen from. There's also the giant monsters thing. Yes, we think of God of War, but I would also caution you to think of the giant scarecrow in the first Arkham game, that fever dream giant scarecrow boss at the end of that nightmare sequence. Similar movements, similar size and scale, going for the horror angle. Again, it's something that we've seen done better by a properly functioning development team that has a vision and has a framework, a genre framework, where you can do something like that, and it would make sense. This is something out of the bad, like, thrown away levels from Clive Barker's Jericho. Does anyone remember that game on the 360?
I remember that. Oh, goodness.
Terrible game, but, you know, it's, again, I have a soft spot for Clive Barker, so I kind of gave it a pass.
Well, it was a very interesting concept. What we're seeing with Black Ops 7 is a fundamentally unoriginal, unimaginative concept that doesn't have any kind of foundational origin to what Call of Duty was all about. Folks, remember how Call of Duty started, how it developed, how it evolved? I think it took a step too far when it went from advanced warfare to infinite warfare, because now we're fighting fascists in space. It's like, okay, folks, we need to dial this back. But no, the folks over at Activision Blizzard, now part of Xbox, are like, we're jumping down the rabbit hole and we're plowing gigantic red period flowers.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what we're
you know,
doing
I
now.
wanted to say something like, when you think of like the AI revolution, like this last a year or 2 years, like who is mostly going to benefit from that? And it's like these already established names. So like the next Far Cry, you can expect to be much better because of the AI.
When we take on a cult. With Far
No, no,
Cry,
no,
it's always
no.
it's
But
always take on a cult with the odd number.
yeah, but
take on with
the
a
next one should be
tyrannical.
far. The next
and-
one should be far better because they have like this amazing technology, and like the people that are going to benefit from that awesome technology are already established names, and especially like game developers. To see them using it to create this shit is like, I don't know what they were doing. So
The
Yeah.
Far Cry 7 will be taking on an Orange Man death cult.
Well, you know, this is also part of the complacency of, you know, they are still living in a world where Call of Duty is like the standard for shooter games, right? And the problem is shooter games is such a competitive market. You've got people playing Marvel Rivals, you've got people playing their other game, Overwatch, you've got people playing Arc Raiders, you've got people playing Battlefield 6. It's literally, there's so much to choose from in that shooter genre that if you're going to make an embarrassing game, people are just going to overlook you and play something else. It is not a genre where people are looking at that as Call of Duty is the only, and of course the actual Borderlands 4 recently came out. So they're not looking at Call of Duty as it's the only thing I can play if I want to play shooters. There's literally just a plethora of other options, and people are going to flock to those instead.
It's such a competitive market now, folks, and most of that market is sadly mediocre. There are some rare gems here and there, as you'll see with the Game Awards. We won't touch upon the Game Awards directly, but we will talk a little bit about the African Indie Game Awards, because that touches a little too close to home. But what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to move to another egregious example of a company that has lost its way. It's lost its way so badly that it is now on the verge of bankruptcy. So I'm just going to write down 31 minutes and 50 seconds. 2.2, ladies and gentlemen, is the following quote. Has Tencent finally finished Ubisoft, as the company is on its last legs? Now, we need to clarify in regards to this situation the difference between legacy Ubisoft and Tencent's Ubisoft, the franchises that they took over, like Far Cry, like Assassin's Creed, like Rainbow Six, to name but a few, folks. And legacy Ubisoft, which is the rest of the company. And I think it's legacy Ubisoft that it's on its last legs. I mean, Tencent does this all the time. They divide, and if you're inefficient enough and not competitive enough, they will rule, as you can see right here. Let's try a new thumbnail. Not thumbnail. Let's try a new loadout. Is that better? No, not really. Let's just do that. That's fine. Okay, folks, courtesy of Tarek JK, quote, Ubisoft just postponed its earnings report and halted the trading of its shares. Does that look very good, folks? Does that look very good at all? In fact, that looks worse than the woman presenting it.
Jesus Christ.
That reminds me of a meme I've seen earlier today. Yasuke actually was the most successful assassin because he killed off Ubisoft.
Yes. You know, I like Kevin Spacey a lot more than Ubisoft. He's the only man who can save Ubisoft. It's Kevin Spacey. But yeah, this was the postponement of the fiscal year meeting, folks, which means, oh no, we are doomed. We are completely doomed. The country. If Ubisoft were a country, folks, it would be in an even worse state than Iraq in 2003. That's
not wrong.
Ubisoft right now.
I would be afraid to live in a country in Ubisoft if it was a country.
Here's the joke Hugo is referring to.
That's why you'd have to be afraid to living in Ubisoft as a country, right there.
Yep, yeah, courtesy of Thiago, however you pronounce his weird Spanish name, Cortez 101 for the following. The greatest assassin to ever live, he killed Ubisoft. Long live Yasuke, slayer of Ubisoft. Wakanda forever!
Oh boy.
They can barely even protect their own finances, let alone a whole country.
Well, I'll tell you this: if Yasuke were in charge of of Ubisoft's finances, a lot of money would be going back to Africa, or sorry, going to Africa. But let's get some first impressions before we delve into this topic in more detail. Jose, what do you make of the downfall of Ubisoft?
I think this was a long time coming. I mean, a lot of people think that we're being facetious when we say get woke, go broke, but here you had Ubisoft, and there've just been a number of bad practices. This is a company that said that you need to get comfortable not owning your games. This is a company that in Europe and parts of the UK was spying on voice chats, and if you said something spicy, they were going to call the cops on you. They all did this long before they started embracing wokeness with Star Wars Outlaws, with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And the embarrassing thing about this is it was revealed, I think, a while back that even the Yasuke they used in this game was a reused asset from like a Rainbow Six NPC. They just transplanted a random black guy and said, okay, this is our Yasuke now. This company has been an embarrassment, and they've sort of just run themselves into the ground. Now, basically China is going to pick and choose which parts of the company they want. They're going to jettison the rest. And I mean, this is what happens. And, I will not have fond memories of Ubisoft. I don't feel bad for Emma. I feel like nothing of value is lost. I can't remember the last time I played an Ubisoft game. Maybe the 2 South Park RPGs was probably the last time I gave a damn about a Ubisoft game. But this is what happens. This is what happens. And this is also what happens when you have disdain for people like all of us on this panel, all the people in the chat room, all the people on social media that told you, no, that we don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want this. And they go, well, you're just a bigot then. You're just a bigot. You need to get with the times. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? It's Kamala Harris's turn now. How'd that work out for you? You can fade into obscurity along with her. Thank you.
Well, better her than Gavin Newsom. I'll tell you that right
true.
now. But Plamini, what do you make of the demise of Ubisoft?
Honestly, I don't see anything bad happening to Ubisoft anytime soon because, again, as I said in like the previous like game, like Call of Duty, like they are just gonna like keep pumping out, for example, Assassin's Creed games. They're just gonna like put it in a new country and do it way more polished, and they're always gonna have a user base for those kind of games. So honestly, I don't really see anything bad happening to them. This is more of like in my opinion, like a short-term fall, which happens anytime to any company. The next Far Cry, for example, I think it's gonna get like way overhyped, and I believe it can actually deliver because now they are in a spot with AI that they can actually polish out games way better. So I think they're one of the companies that are going to use this as a benefit. And I really don't see anything like bad happening to them.
Well, I mean, remember, Ubisoft is dead. They're now Vantage. They're going to be Vantage Studios. I think they're going to full rebrand into Vantage because the name is just toxic now. Ubisoft.
Well, I will make it clear that technically, folks, now it's not practically, but technically Ubisoft are 2 companies at the moment, right? One is the legacy brand, Legacy Ubisoft, which is the one that is crashing and burning, whose share price is going through the floor. And the new company is essentially Tencent's Ubisoft. This is the company.
That's what I'm sharing on your screen now, if you want.
This is the company, Plamini, that owns Assassin's Creed, that owns Far Cry, that owns the Rainbow franchise, right?
Vantage Studios.
And it looks like Tencent's Ubisoft, is going to rebrand as Vantage Studios. And Vantage is not a bad name because it seems like a new, fresh, vibrant company. This new kid on the block that will
like Aston Martin has like a Vantage.
Yes, they
car.
do.
So whenever you type in Vantage, they could have used much more creative names. So if we go by the logic of how creative they are, this is like a really if you're gonna name your studio like this is a bad choice. And if you're gonna but their games are not like depending on them being like super creative. It's just on the execution, and just for that reason, I think they're not gonna have any trouble. They can call themselves like whatever they want. I just like don't see them going out of business anytime soon.
Well, Tencent has a great record of saving companies by killing their predecessors.
Mhm.
Okay, so we need to consider. Look at Epic, for example, because Epic, although things were looking great initially with Fortnite, they were bleeding out a lot of money from that project initially. Who saved them financially? It was Tencent. It was Tencent's actions in providing the financial money in return for a stake in Epic, which led to the greater success of that company. And what did Tencent do? They opened up the market, the new market for Epic, into the East, especially in places like China. And from that, Epic are now collaborating a lot more with Disney. That's why you're seeing Disney characters in their game. Most recently, The Simpsons, because yes, they are now owned by an evil corporation. So I think Vantage Studios will succeed because it is, in a sense, Tencent's Ubisoft. I think Legacy Ubisoft, which doesn't have Assassin's Creed, which doesn't have Far Cry, which doesn't have Rainbow Six and a few other prominent franchises, that's going to crash and burn. That's going to THQ, and it's going to be picked apart by several different companies. That's what I
But
honestly.
what is their like what are their IPs? Like what are you meant to salvage? Like what titles do they have?
Rayman being one of them. That's about it, as far as I can remember. But Ubisoft
one
have a
too many.
record. What was that, Hugo?
That's one too many title left for them.
I know, but I think people need to understand that Ubisoft helped publish and develop hundreds of games over many decades, and Tencent only decided to take half a dozen franchises out of the hundreds that Ubisoft control, because the vast majority of them were just put on the shelf. You know, nice franchise, made a few games off of them, but they're not part of our future plans, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of potential there for existing companies and for indie companies to take a piece after piece after piece of legacy Ubisoft, because there's a lot of potential. It's just untapped at the moment.
You know,
But Byron,
I'm put in mind that it would seem that legacy Ubisoft is really going back to their cultural roots as a French company. They're waving the white flag of surrender, going down in a pile of flames. I really am not sure that this is going to. No one is surprised. No one is shocked that this is where they're at now, given their track record of just burying their heads in the sand and not wanting to listen to the actual requests and demands of their user base. Jay's touched upon it with the whole, they came out and said gamers should get used to not owning their games. And gamers responded with, okay, we won't own your games. We will not give you our money. It didn't work out for them.
And it's going to crash and burn. I mean, successful companies. Let's look at it this way, gentlemen, before we get Hugo's perspective and then Triton's. If successful companies like THQ and Telltale Games can get effectively wiped out, now I know they managed to rebrand themselves in one way, shape, or form, but they did collapse. If successful game companies that made great games but weren't profitable in the long run can go the way of the dinosaur, then I'm sure Ubisoft's legacy will be that of a collapsed company, and Vantage Studios will be the successor under Tencent, because Tencent has a far better record of keeping companies alive. Go ahead.
Real quick, Digni, bear in mind that Ubisoft also had another embarrassment this year that we have to, mention when we talk about the failures of Ubisoft, is seeing that the creative part of Ubisoft that's capable of putting out a 4-star, 5-star game became Sandfall, jettisoned from Ubisoft. This is all ex-Ubisoft that put out what's going to likely be the game of the year for 2025 in Clair Obscura Expedition 33. So it's a bigger embarrassment to Ubisoft with these big, nasty teams, all the money they put together, all of the money they put into Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Shadows, which are supposed to be, as was mentioned, these great franchises. that completely bombed. Meanwhile, an unknown brand new IP comes out in Clair Obscur Expedition 33, made by a team of about 40 ex-Ubisoft employees for the most part, and it ends up being Game of the Year. That should be embarrassing for a company the size of Ubisoft.
Well, we have to consider that the makers of Dispatch, that recent choice-based game that came out recently, which I think it's not a Game of the Year nominee, but it is in the Game Awards as a nominee for something, that also came from former Ubisoft employees. People forget, folks, 10, 20 years ago, Ubisoft were at the top of the games development and publishing world, so much so that EA wanted to take it over.
Then they hired women.
Then they hired women and DEI
But
and all that.
I'm sorry,
all that.
like to interrupt you, but this is only like a matter of like framing the situation. Because if like 40 of their ex-employees go ahead and like make a Game of the Year, like they can literally like just say like, guys, this is our B team. We laid them off. Imagine what our A team could do, you know? So it's just like the matter of like presenting the information.
But they did try that. They
couldn't
said that the
present
pirate
a
game.
glass of water to a person in the desert.
Yeah, they did. They put that 4-star. Remember, they said it was going to be the first quadruple A game. Their pirate game, Skull and Bones, and it failed dramatically. Oh, this is our best. This is our best foot forward, and it was crap, and nobody liked it. All right.
One of the most successful governments on planet Earth, the Singaporean government, poured $300 million to support Ubisoft with Skull and Bones. Singapore has one of the world's best run governments, and this isn't like a joke on all governments are bad. They know how to run a fucking country. They turned a third world shithole into a first world metropolis in half a century. These aren't idiots we're talking about. And with all those resources, with all that technical expertise, with the support of the Singaporeans, who have the world's highest IQ on average, Ubisoft still fucked up with Skull and Bones.
Because of the finances from Singapore, they had to release it.
Yes, they had to.
If they could have gotten away with a tax write-off or whatever, they would have done so.
In fact, if it wasn't for the Singaporean authorities, we wouldn't have seen how awful Skull and Bones was, which wouldn't have been one of the nails in Ubisoft's coffin.
Well, you know what? Skull and Bones is going to be all that's left of Ubisoft at this rate.
Exactly. But what about you, Hugo? What do you make of this whole situation?
Well, the actual talents, as Sandfall has proven, will land on their feet in one studio or another, or do their own thing. The company Ubisoft is just the parasite, so the executive level, you know, the kind that should be shoved over to New York, I'd say, and eat rats and stuff. So yeah, I think under Tencent, the IPs like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed will have a better chance when thinking, for example, Black Flag. I play that every other year. Still love that game. Older Far Cry titles, still very fond of. But Ubisoft is gone, and they should be. But the IPs, I'd love to see them return, and Tencent might actually be a good thing for that.
Oh, the Chinese are very good at making things good, but it's a means to an end for a greater project, and I won't elaborate any more on that because the Reds.
Yeah, that's another topic.
Yeah, the Reds make the Germans look peaceful. What about you, Triton? What do you make of this whole situation?
I think that Ubisoft is definitely like in a bad fuck situation, but like Plamini said, I don't think like it's gonna ruin them. I feel like they're gonna find a way to bounce back, only because they have a woke audience that's just gonna buy the games no matter what, just because they like the woke shit and they like the dumb shit that they do, and they kind of encourage Ubisoft to go on this path. So actual gamers are not going to respect Ubisoft, though. Ubisoft's going to lose like the gaming audience and just going to have a bunch of woke retards. That's all they're going to have in their audience.
Triton's right. Mighty Keith is going to give Assassin's Creed his life savings and buy every copy of their game.
I'm sorry, guys. Mighty Keith is in Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's why he's going to buy all the damn copies. He's in the game.
Oh boy!
Yeah, he's basically going to be buying all the games. Yeah,
Sea Chance is a good game. I'm in it.
Oh damn!
that's basically it, though. Like, no actual gamers that just play games just to have fun are gonna like their shit, because all they do is just push woke politics instead of actually put an entertaining storyline. And Ubisoft's been like this for years, and I'm surprised that they're now just getting called out for it.
Well, Triton, it was a choice between Mighty Keith and Pedro Pascal in blackface, and they decided, no, we can't have a white actor or a Latino actor or a Latinx actor doing blackface. It's far too controversial. Do you know what else is also controversial, ladies and gentlemen? Dickers.
Well, I was gonna say
that's what we call a segue.
Yeah.
I just remember, like, 10 years ago, all this stuff was not controversial. Like, you could do blackface in games and nobody would have a problem. Now it's like the 2020s hit, COVID hits, all of a sudden people got to complain about every single edgy joke in video games.
Minus $7,000 for you, Lord Triton. Go ahead, Jose.
Ubisoft wanted to put out an Assassin's Creed game with a black protagonist. They should have done the OJ case. Assassin's Creed OJ would have been a massive success.
Oh, absolutely. OJ could have been the Templar. And what's that woman's name? I forgot her name.
Nicole, his wife. The one.
Could have been a covert assassin who sadly died. Or maybe the other way around. Maybe OJ was the assassin.
How about the following idea? Far Cry Manhattan, the looter shooter.
It's not far off, though.
Far Cry Chicago. Who's the big bad? CM Punk. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just take this off the screen real quick. We appreciate everyone for being here. If you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. We're not monetized, so we don't need donations. But that might be a good thing, because creators are facing chargebacks in the tens of thousands of dollars. But we'll get to that towards the end of the show. The third topic for today's show, I'll write down for a solid 52 minutes and 40 seconds. 2.3 is comparing and contrasting creator crashouts from Dickers to DSP. Now, folks, these two are egregious examples. In one sense, Dickers has just been spiraling for years now, whereas with DSP's always been a scumbag, like always, right? That man has never changed, and he will never change, okay? It's as simple as that. But I'm just going to share my screen real quick to give you guys some context. Here's two very similar situations between Dickers and DSP. So we're going to play the full clip. We're going to put it on max volume to blow your ears out, and take it away.
What the hell just happened? What the fuck just happened? What just happened? What the living fuck just fucking goddamn fucking happened? Fuck this shit.
How is this guy still on YouTube swearing this consistently? Is my question. Oh, wait. He blew up his own million sub channel because he's an idiot.
Imagine deleting a 1 million sub channel.
Imagine being Dickers, Triton.
Well, he's basically fat DSP.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to imagine being Dickers, because I like being able to see my penis when I look down.
I'd rather be the quartering than Dickers and DSP. I'd rather piss in a basement than constantly beg people for money or taking my shirt off for money.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm
I
in
mean,
second
to be
place.
fair, the quartering begs for money too, but he doesn't check off his shirt, so that's one
Yeah, but he-
advantage.
But he begs for money through his blood coffee, Triton.
That is true. Rich just begs for money just to do it. Same with DSP. At least the quartering has some sort of brand, so.
Yeah. The
coffee.
quartering has blood coffee, and Smash JT has green weed tea.
Ooh.
Because it's fucking green. It's like Scotty from the Next Generation. It's like, it's green. Green alcohol, green tea. Wow.
Yeah, that's Sonic All-Star Racing. You can go fuck itself. Jesus Christ. Like, are you kidding me? And I was in second place.
You know,
Skill
this is
issue,
a
bro.
rare, this is a rare Dickers clip. He has his shirt on.
Thankfully.
And there's a cock
Yeah,
on
that's
screen, and
Sonic
it's
All-Star
not his
Racing.
2-inch Excalibur.
Good. That's very good. I think he plays with that when he finishes with his streams. He sticks it somewhere.
It could die in a goddamn fire. That's the game. Goodbye. It's 30 FPS. The graphics suck. The frame pacing sucks.
What's wrong with 30 FPS? For that, you're gonna play at 12 FPS for that, Dicker.
You know what? Dickers moves at 30 FPS in real life. I don't think he
And
has
that's
room
it.
to
And
complain.
you see the map on the screen.
That many frames per second works plenty
I hate
fine for
the
some of the older
swag.
games. This is
All of these
future
fucking
cop
games that are-
LAPD. You know, barely moves at 12 frames per second. Still fun if you know what you're doing.
How many bloody mobile devices do you have, Byron?
Like Mario Kart.
Like
I can't stand it.
six.
Because you could be in first goddamn fucking place and one thing can happen and you lose. Like it's not even second or third. You're like eighth.
That's
I
literally
can't
the game,
take
though.
that. I can take losing, but not when it's because of Blowfish was shoved up my goddamn ass.
I thought you enjoyed that, though.
Oh boy.
Oh dear! But we're going to see another clip after this little bit of DSP's reaction to playing this game. It's very similar.
On my second, dude, I was in first. Look at this. I've done nothing. I got clobbered by everything. What do you want me to do?
Give me contributions. Give me contributions.
They're acting the same. Holy shit.
Kermit the Frog.
Those two should play Split Fiction together.
Oh goddamn no! But folks, have you guys noticed that DSP looks like if Ben Shapiro were a game streamer?
Literally, he does.
Ooh. Even his hair resembles a tiny hat.
He looks like an older game streamer version of Ben Shapiro.
In fact,
That
Ben
would not
Shapiro would act like DSP as a game streamer. He would be begging and banning people from his chat over the littlest things.
And asking for money all the time. But
And that was money all the time.
But let's finish off this clip, and then we'll see another clip in regards to DSP, because I think DSP is more egregious than Dickers, and the following clip.
Just a second. Sorry, is this the guy that was caught like jerking off on the street?
Yes.
Oh,
And then after the fact, he said, "Why aren't you paying me money to watch this?"
Right, and eventually known as the May 1st
There are. Does he know like that? There are other sites that are gonna pay him. You know? If he's gonna do what he's doing, he might as well earn some money. You know.
He doesn't
Damn.
give a damn. He is a parasite, and he has been
Look.
around for nearly 20 years doing
J
this.
Viper in the chat doing what 9,999 damage looks like in real life, calling him DSP, dick sucking person.
He is. He is a dick-sucking person, J Viper, and it's great to see you, my good man. You got Rhoda calling him dipshit Phil.
Bill.
Sorry for ignoring the chat, folks. I've been focusing a lot on the topics, but it's good to see folks in the chat. Good to see Lamissa as well. Of course, good to see October Sky as well. Yes, Dickers, Review Tech USA, but everyone calls him Dickers, and Slay says he ate his daughter's eyes. Okay. Oh, okay, that's very disturbing, but that's perfectly fine. Let's go into this and just finish this clip off for a bit. Oh, let me just.
Once
there we
again,
go.
I'm going to get 7, and there's nothing I can do about it. They all hit me with items. Yo, the game fucking cheats. Literally, I was in first. All of a sudden, it says Sonic's ahead of me, even though I was in first. I never lost speed. I never got hit, and then everyone hits me with an item at once. What the fuck was
He
that?
gets mad and
I was
starts
in
touching
first. Oh, now
himself.
you're in 6th, then there's no way to catch up. Well, then fuck you.
He's like, damn it, I can't jerk off to this.
I think
Okay,
there
wait.
are bus simulators for people like this.
Okay, folks. So this is the wrong show to quote Nick Fuentes, isn't it?
Oh boy.
Okay, where is it? Where is it? Scroll up, scroll up. Where is it? Where is that little clip? I can't find it. There it is. Okay, so this is courtesy of Do Blank. What a name this is. Quote, delusional floating head DSP's crash out after Asmongold's video on him. He actually went and called us Dr. Frankenstein and said we are responsible for creating the e-begging monster that is.
Is there a
modern
green
day
screen of him
DS.
like jerking off?
No, I'm not showing
Well,
that.
that's
Flammy.
close
Are you
enough right
crazy?
there. That facial
Well,
expression.
on
That would be such a
YouTube, it
meme,
would
dude.
get
Come on.
taken down.
Yeah, yeah. Let's play this clip, guys, and then you'll see things from DSP's perspective, and you'll see why these crazy, creepy content creators keep crashing out. A lot of C's and K's in that statement, but it is the truth. Oh, let's turn it
Your
up.
audience's money. Oh, well, he was talking about how over 15 years you begged for your audience's money. Literally never, ever asked for contributions until my trolls ruined my YouTube channel and made it so I couldn't make a living on ad revenue. All the way up through that when they got me those false copyright strikes, which ruined my channel and made it so that I couldn't make a living on ads anymore. That's when I had to start asking for crowd support. Before then, I never did.
Like just like stick this
And
head
that's a fucking
on
fact.
someone's
And you can
on,
go back.
like
What
some
was
random,
that?
like GT5
Lamini.
character.
Lamini, repeat
Like
yourself.
just imagine like sticking this head with this green screen on like a GTA 5 beggar, like a homeless person in GTA 5, and he's explaining to you like why he needs the money.
Oh no.
He constantly bitched during his GTA 4 streams that, oh, if we don't get the donations, I'm not playing the DLCs. We don't play the get the donations, I won't play the game anymore. Give me donation, give me contributions.
Look,
Eh.
I'm pretty
No.
sure this man's hair is hair plugs, by the way.
I'm pretty sure this man's hair came from Ben Shapiro. This man is the Ben Shapiro of game streaming. He just doesn't have the hat.
Dark Side Ben Shapiro.
Oh my god! Because they even look alike as well. Clearly, DSP looks older. Let's not deny
They
that.
look alike, they act alike. DSP's just older. That's the only difference.
And you can watch documentaries that talk about it. Go watch the fucking June the King documentary that literally shows that there was a year where all my views tanked because false copyright strikes affected my channel, kicked me out of the YouTube algorithm. I couldn't make a living just on ad revenue anymore, and I had to change my model. I literally never intended to be an internet live streamer. I wanted to do on-demand videos. I had to change my model to survive because people fucked with me. So when you complain, oh, I hate that Phil asks for money, then you shouldn't have fucked with my livelihood. I never had to until people did. Now you deal with the repercussions. You don't like the current Phil that asks for contributions. You made the monster. You're Dr. Frankenstein. Now you got to live with the monster you created, bitches. And if you don't like it, too fucking bad because you don't have a time machine to go back in time and change what you already did.
Shut up and do some Blue Chew ad reads, DSP.
No.
And why would your detractors even pay you money? You're like, oh, you created the monster, you attacked me, so you have to pay me. Why would they pay you? Why would they pay? They're attacking you. Why are they paying you?
It's such an entitlement mindset, ladies and gentlemen. This is a guy who thinks live streaming, if you watch his live streams, right, in this deluded man's head, if you watch DSP's live streams, you must contribute. That's why he uses the term contributions, right? And he will never take the blame for himself, right? And even when DSP gets a lot of donations, he just spends like 20 grand on that wrestling game. What was it? WWE Battlegrounds or something? He gets himself into this. champions or whatever it's damn well called. He just gets in mountains of debt and he's like, more contributions, give me more contributions. This guy on YouTube, last time I checked, had about 160, 170,000 subs, and he's made about 65 to 70,000 uploads.
Here you go, Triton. This is what DSP thinks is going to happen. Pay you $100.
That's basically what. But he thinks that he's like, hey, you can make fun of me, you just gotta pay me. It's like, no, they're not gonna do that.
Can't people charge back
Wait,
donations from DSP?
Wait, it says I'm gonna pay you to fuck off. No, DSP wants you to pay for you to fuck off. He's like, pay $100, then fuck off. That's basically DSP right there.
The only reason DSP isn't the most egregious lolcow is because Cyrax exists. Cyrax looks like he came out of Chernobyl, okay? The guy looks like he is melting in real time. His head is as wide as his shoulder blades, okay?
In fact, didn't that guy do way worse than Phil? Like, just do a bunch of crazy stuff on camera?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why he's got a head that looks like the kid from Hey Arnold.
Yes. Okay, just to give you guys a visual example, because we're going to magnify so you can all see this. It's fucking terrifying. Looks like something out of Resident Evil or Silent Hill, all right? Just share my screen. There we go. Where's the... That's better. There we go.
Oh boy.
Yeesh.
Oh boy.
Looks like the Crypt Keeper, doesn't he?
Sorry, bro. I don't have any
that guy
money.
is like that guy is on drugs or something. Like he's in a serious
Look
problem.
at his head.
Oh, holy fucking leprosy.
I mean, maybe Ariana Grande could love that guy. I don't know.
Oh, this is like someone like suffering like a heroin addiction or something. Like this is like proper hardcore drugs.
Oh my god, it's the mouth of Sauron, ladies
Day
and gentlemen.
36 of a vegan diet.
Dude, his mouth looks worse than mine, and I have a mouth that makes English dentists rub their hands together with glee.
Yes, that is true, Byron. But this guy, Cyrax, is the most egregious of lolcows. And the reason why this guy is the worst, right, is the fact that he is so broken and mental. And he also tried to sorry to tell you this, he also tried to chat up children. So yeah, he's one of those as well. But this looks like something out of the pits of hell. No, it's not this Cyrax, folks. I wish it were this Cyrax.
October and Rhoda Singh has Mongold aged very badly.
Oh, I wish it were. I wish it were Asmongold, folks. I wish it were. Is that our next topic? No, that is our next topic, but we're not going to get to it as of yet, folks. But there are plenty of examples of egregious creators. Dickers, DSP, you've got of course Cyrax. What was the other guy's name? Daniel Larson. Daniel Larson is fucking mental. Okay? In fact, I can just type his name out. Daniel Larson. And this is the great thing about learning about fine folks and fellow creators, is that most fine folks and fellow creators are very nice people, but some of them are fucking terrifying.
I got compared to Daniel Larson a few times, and I don't know why. I'm not that crazy.
Oh, well, I tell you this, man. Blood sports always brings out the crazies, okay? Okay. Let's take a look at this mugshot picture from 9 months ago, folks. Okay, this is Daniel Larson now. Okay.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Yeah. He
doesn't even look human.
No, last time I checked, Triton, he was in prison.
Well, it makes sense.
It's I wish it was related to Brie Larson, but no.
It looks
these
like one of Brie
people are
Larson's
crazy.
toes.
These people are crazy, folks. They're absolutely insane and mental, which is why it's very important to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Guy looks like one of the creatures out of the Mandela
100%.
catalogs.
Yeah, like
Oh,
get some sun, and we should like probably like move on.
Yeah, someone could put Cyrax's head on Cyrax's robot body and create the ultimate freaky creature. The real RoboCop, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh no!
But on that note, since we've given principal examples of content creators crashing out, let me just get rid of this comment. There we go. Now on to the next topic, which is 2.4, and I'll write that down for a solid 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 15 seconds. For 2.4, the Saudis bid $70 billion for Warner Brothers to make DC great again. Now, just to let everyone know in regards to this situation, Warner Brothers want to sell themselves again, and they're playing hard to get once again. Okay, courtesy of, who is this, Pirate Nation, who might be a catfish or a catfisher in the past. I don't know. I heard on the grapevine somewhere that Pirate Nation first started out pretending to be an attractive woman on X. I really don't know too much about that. But courtesy of Pirate Nation, quote, the Saudi Arabian PIF, which is short for something, I think it's Public Investment Fund, has made a tentative offer of $70 billion to acquire Warner Brothers. So, first thoughts on this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start off with Jose and work our way across the panel because my father just called me. So
$70 billion to acquire Warner Brothers. And the fun thing about this is a lot of people sort of look at this and they go, oh, well, the Saudis, they're going to cover up the women. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. If you're paying attention, Saudi Arabia has already, basically, the Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who just had a meeting with Trump, I think, yesterday. They purchased SNK, which are the company that makes like Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, Samurai Showdown. They've purchased Evo, the fighting game tournament. They've purchased Electronic Arts, a controlling stake in that. And now they're going for WB, which would give them the umbrella of basically Warner Brothers, Discovery, HBO Max, WB Games. So they have control of like Mortal Kombat. They would have control of all the WB game studios sort of put out there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that also puts them in control of like a lot of like the Nickelodeon properties, but I could be wrong on that. But also puts them in like stuff like Game of Thrones and whatnot as far as television rights, Harry Potter. So the thing is that with the Saudis picking this up, we could see a big cultural shift. There's even like people within like the Saudi, sort of sphere of influence that want to get rid of James Gunn and bring back Schneider and bring back the Snyder, universe, the Snyderverse of DC Comics, because they don't like what James Gunn is doing. There's going to have a lot of implications if this happens. And, to the Saudis, it's a drop in the bucket. Apparently, if anyone's got more money than that other Middle Eastern country that gives you $7,000 to say nice things about them, it's the Saudis. So this is going to be interesting to watch, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And also the Saudi prince, it should be noted that he's trying to position himself as, no, I'm not like my dad. I'm not like my granddad. I like these things that y'all like. And it's, he's positioning himself as sort of, trying to be in an allyship with the West, and he's a pragmatist. Yes,
and that's what I appreciate about this newer regime in Saudi Arabia, is that they're far more pragmatic than their older counterparts, their original counterparts. And look, folks, when you're in between Israel and Iran, you got to be pragmatic, okay, for your own sake, if nothing else.
Look, MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, he likes titties, man, and that's why I like Mohammed bin Salman. When he bought Evo and all of the worst people in gaming decided that they're really mad about it, that made me happy. It made me so happy that my broke ass went and bought King of Fighters 15 and Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, bought some new content in Street Fighter 6. I was like, yo, I'm happy you bought Evo, because maybe I can start playing fighting games again now. I don't have to deal with like furries and other assorted weirdos because they're going to be screaming or worried about being yeeted off of high places.
Yep.
So hey,
we need to point out, folks, and it's somehow paradoxical that the Middle East is getting more Western and the West is getting more Middle Eastern. It's very
It's like we're
odd.
switching roles.
Yeah, it's like we are switching roles.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable in that respect. But what about you, Plamini? What do you make of the Saudi Arabian government, through their public investment fund, making a tentative offer of $70 billion to acquire Warner Brothers?
So I can only go from what I personally know, and first of all, I don't think this is a bad thing, because I've seen that they, from what I personally follow, the sport that I'm most interested in is like the Formula One, and the things they've done in Formula One are quite amazing. So, if a DC universe has ever had a shot of making it, it's probably with this, because they have like a really like a big problem with continuing the things that they've started. So they would introduce a bunch of characters, never like go anywhere with them. They couldn't like put on like a string, even like 20 years ago, like when Christian Bale like finished his third movie, he said himself that he was never like invited to do another movie. So that's one of the missed shots. Then they fired like the guy that did the last Batman with the like what's the guy called, Ben Affleck. And I actually like that. Never went anywhere. Like they made a few movies, but they never had like a track record that proves that they can actually finish what they started. It's might due to like a poor box office performance. So I think like this like injection of money actually gives them a shot of finishing some of the things they're started. And even to me personally, it would be like fun to see like a Batman, instead of like a fictional New York billionaire, be actually like a fictional Saudi prince. I don't think either. However fun would that be, I don't think that like that will ever happen, because the traditional Batman that I personally love has probably the best shot with someone who is looking at the DC throughout like the rose tinted glasses, because they are gonna make whatever that they make, it's probably gonna be like a safe bet. So they're not gonna like do something rational as we had chance of seeing. So I think this is actually good.
Well, look at this from an American perspective. Look at this from a European perspective. Look at this from a Western perspective, folks. Western entertainment is slowly but surely not becoming Western. Because let's think about this. Saudi Arabia, they're buying this as a national entity, so it will be government run. And Saudi Arabia's government is, in a sense, an absolute monarchy, but their absolute monarch is very old and doesn't want to run it anymore. So he lets his son do it, because they don't do abdications over there. The only way you abdicate is when you die. So effectively, folks, this is, if this goes through, because we all know what Warner Brothers are like. They're like, nah, they want to sell, but they want to sell for an insane price. Now, I heard the Paramount and Skydance have tried to put in a counteroffer of $71 billion just to FU the Saudis. But let's face it, folks, the Saudi Arabians have a shit ton of resources. They have a lot of money and they know what to do with it. And in the short to medium term, I think these franchises would be governed in a far better manner than they are currently.
Well, Digni, we're going to have to get you another one of those avatars, but it's going to be in the Saudi outfit instead.
Yes.
You got to play both sides.
Yes. We have sold out to Saudi Arabia, folks, okay? But I think it's very important to point out that DC's biggest problem in this case is decades of inconsistency, especially in their movie franchises, which is a damn shame. It is a damn shame. But what about you, Byron? What do you make of the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund making an offer of $70 billion to acquire Warner Brothers?
I think it's potentially beneficial for many of the intellectual properties under the Warner heading, under their ownership, for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the upcoming crop of ruling class, as it would be in Saudi Arabia, they are students of history. They have looked back at the early days of secular Islam, which was a broad brush across much of the Middle East, wherein they did not attempt to culturally enforce and indoctrinate everything about their religious creed into all things entertainment or scholarly. I imagine that they are going to look back at what worked to establish these brands and these intellectual properties and try to hearken back to them when they were successful, when they were culturally relevant, and they will say, you know what, that worked before, and it got eventually put into the hands of people who didn't understand or appreciate those intellectual properties and franchises. We can attempt to return to what was relevant, what worked, and what was profitable. Not only that, but what was culturally adhesive to those people who came into these franchises as fans, as customers, and we can try to rekindle that enchantment with these franchises, characters, stories, and what have you. I imagine that they will attempt to go back to that framework, which worked for so long until it got taken over by a bunch of people who didn't know or care what they were doing. They wanted to push their socio-political agendas instead. I do not foresee the upcoming crop of Saudi Arabian ruling folks in this PI or this fund letting that rot continue. So it could be beneficial for those franchises and intellectual properties to return to an effective, efficient, and much beloved framework. So it's potentially good that this would happen, but only time will tell.
Oh, absolutely.
If I can continue,
to-
if I can continue on this, I believe like if this does happen, like that, you're gonna get like a safe Batman, and you're gonna get like a safe Superman that everyone can relate to. You will recognize the Batman, you will recognize a Superman, and it's not gonna be trying out new things. It's gonna be like sticking to the things that did work. And everyone's gonna enjoy that. So if this does happen, the average DC fan is gonna be way happier.
And we also need to consider, ladies and gentlemen, that after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, Islam didn't really have an effective, home country. It didn't have a base of operations, right? Ever since the beginning of Islam, there was always the Great Islamic Empire, or empires, depending on where things were at, and that came to an end after the First World War. I mean, Saudi Arabia does have the best claim to be the Islamic Empire. It's not the only claim. I mean, the Iranians have a claim, considering the majority of the Muslim minority lives there. Also, the Indonesians have a good claim because they're the world's most populous Muslim country. So, I think Byron is correct in his assessment. The Saudis are learning from their own history, and they're learning from our history.
Well, also, MBS, we have to just also point out that he is one hell of a shit poster, as is evidenced by his Steam account. So I did pull that up for you guys if you guys forgot when he bought EA.
By all means.
This came up. I bought EA. Thank you so much, Reddit, with anime girls and AI avatars of women. MBS knows how to play the game, at least to our side of the culture. When he picked up SNK, he said that I'm not changing a thing about SNK other than I want it to be as bright and as vibrant as it was when I was growing up playing these games in the 90s. And of course, you see Mai Shiranui still looks the same as she does in SNK games. All the women are still. In fact, it's one of the few outlets where the women look pretty. I think our boy Furious Dan was playing King of Fighters 15 last night, and everybody still looks relatively normal in that game. There's no Deborah Wilsons running around, and I think that's important. I think as Plemony said when Superman, Batman, it's going to be status quo. He wants it to be like it was when he was growing up, when you didn't have this indoctrination of these blue hairs and these weirdos in there. And I'm pretty sure that if WB is picked up, DC Comics, where there are a lot more ideologues, is going to go into full-on panic mode because he is going to purge everyone that works at DC Comics, I'm relatively sure.
Can I just
Won't
like
that
say
be
one
great?
more thing and I'll finish up? Like
Sure.
the only relevant thing about all of this is that is this guy a truly a DC fan? Like is the fan gonna take over? Because like I assume that like most of the people that worked for this last generation of DC Comics were like in some case like they didn't even like care that much. So can we actually like have a proper fan that wants the best for this and it's actually like wants DC to be what it was when he was growing up? So that's
the
the only
Saudi-
relevant question.
Well, first of all, this is being this is an investment in the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. So putting this much money into a project, they expect to get get out what they put in at the bare minimum. So they wanted to succeed for that purpose, first of all. And we also have to consider that the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, who is effectively running Saudi Arabia because his father is too old and invalid to actually run the country, has a personal stake in carving out Western entertainment, not just for his own pleasure, but to increase his own personal popularity.
Yeah, they have theme parks over there in Saudi Arabia that are on par with ours, and their Batman exhibit is apparently so good that my co-host over on Cancel's podcast said, it pisses me off. I hate Saudi Arabia, if only because I'm jealous of the fact we don't have this here. Their Batman exhibit, I mean, they basically have a fully functional Arkham City exhibit. And everything is hyper realistic. And I'm just sharing another screen with you guys. This is basically where we're at here with his feelings towards DC and WB is this is what he wants, and this is one of the reasons that he is motivated to buy this company.
Because he wants to bring back the Snyderverse, because he saw there was a lot of great potential in the Snyderverse, folks. Whatever you think of Zack Snyder now and his Rebel Moon fuck up. Because it was a fuck up. But if his daughter hadn't have topped herself, we probably would have gotten a Snyderverse in the I know it's very controversial to say that, but her doing herself in practically led to the rails coming off. That's how Joss Whedon had to take over and do his own like Marvel interpretation of Justice League, which just didn't really work. Plus, Sweden had a vested interest, or Sweeten, or however you pronounce his name, had a vested interest in seeing DC fail because he had a stake in the MCU
when we are talking about interest, like there is a thing you have to understand to anyone who doesn't, like from a state that was basically like getting all its money from oil, they're now trying to basically be the next tourist hub. So there is a clear interest with that society to have theme parks. One of them being, for example, like a Formula One race circuit, and they're doing an amazing job with it. The other is probably with this. So they're bringing a lot of comedians. They are doing a lot of the things for the entertainment industry, which are like really, really good. Like the guy you just showed is hugely into boxing. Like he is giving paydays to these like boxers and bringing them back, and it's like that is, as a fan, what you want to see.
Because he wants, unlike our leaders, ladies and gentlemen, the Saudi leader actually wants what's best for his country and for his people. Okay, especially when you've got.
Say what you want. Say what you want about how terrible the Rebel Moon movie was on Netflix. I last week picked up the first issue of the new Rebel Moon comic book series, the follow-up. It's not terrible.
And maybe that's what Snyder needs. He needs to complete his original project before moving on to a secondary one. But Hugo, what do you make of this whole situation?
Well, Warner Brothers is pretty much in a dead end, so in that direction it can only go up. And when it comes to the Saudis, I mean, they've been diversifying into pretty much every direction, which is, of course, the smarter thing to do For example, they also hold, I think, like 6% shares of Toei Animation,
Yep.
and well, never put all eggs in one basket. So, yeah, I think carefully optimistic when it comes to this, if it comes to this. And well, let's wait and see. It can just only be better than the current state. I mean,
You can see how demoralized Hugo is when talking about Warner Brothers, because it is that demoralizing, folks. And don't
I
worry,
just
Hugo.
looked a bit nostalgic and sad at the Adam West Lego mobile I'm currently building
Oh,
with
wow.
my offspring. So, yeah, my character as a child was Batman, and I
Yeah.
grew up with. I loved the Adam West series, and
Yeah.
later on, the Gothic style, and even the third movie, Forever, had its perks.
Stop
And the
pounding,
Bale,
Joker.
Like
I
I
the
grew
Bale
up with
movies,
a,
of
like
course.
I grew up with a Batman that would hold his like if he wanted to torture someone, it would be off screen because he would just like grab him by the legs and hold him from a skyscraper. Like that's the kind of dark Batman I want to see.
Yeah.
Damn.
The thing
So
is,
much.
it shouldn't be that difficult to pull off Batman or Superman.
It shouldn't.
So,
It's
like
very basic.
previously mentioned, back to the roots
Mhm.
is the best way for now. People
But
will eat that
it
up.
is difficult
A
if you
genuine
want to.
Batman, a real Superman.
Yeah.
But it is difficult if you want to subversively destroy a host country and then move on to India. Triton, what do you make of this whole situation? And then we got two
I-
more topics for about half an hour.
I think the prince is trying to buy Warner Brothers so he can turn his country to more Western, because Saudi Arabia is like the only Middle Eastern country that's really like heading to the first world direction. And I feel like this is benefiting like his country in a way, because he's getting like Western ideas into Saudi Arabia because they never seen that stuff in the country. So I feel like he's trying to like make them more Western and make them less Middle Eastern, just because the Middle Eastern cultures is so toxic, and I think he's trying to like better the country by
Well, it's
distracting them and giving entertainment to the people over there.
well,
Because Saudi Arabia never really had any entertainment like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, remember, even WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi Arabia in 2027.
Yeah, and that's
We
because
know-
of the prince. Like the prince is the one setting it up, and he's purposely doing that so he can make it more Western. So Saudi Arabia is actually first world, and is not like the other Middle Eastern countries that are surrounding them. Like
well,
he doesn't want
consider
all the
that-
wars and all the executions to continue. So he's trying to like kind of humble his people in a way.
Well, we need to consider that what Saudi Arabia is doing is very similar to what the Chinese did in the 70s and 80s. They are, in a sense, liberalizing their economies, but they're not going to liberalize their societies as a trade off to survive in a new era. Unlike countries like Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, and other parts of the world that have been heavily resistant to the West and have had to pay, in some cases, the ultimate price for resisting.
Look, Digny. To be fair, Saudi Arabia gets some things right. You spend a few days on the road here in Atlanta, you're not going to want women to drive anymore either.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, man.
And in
Right.
Florida too. And Florida's the same way. Mainly old grandmas.
Oh yeah,
And that's why countries like Saudi Arabia, countries like Red China, they find a balance between their economic system, which is much more Western, much more liberal, and their social system, which in the communists' case is far left. For the Saudi Arabians, it's far more fundamentalist in Islamic ideology. But they understand, they know where the wind is blowing, and that's what they're going to do in order to survive and thrive in the future. Because oil won't last forever, folks. Some people think oil won't last forever. And the Saudis are pivoting so that they don't have to rely so much on an oil-based economy. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the fifth topic, because the fifth topic is funny. 1 hour, 34 minutes dead. If you haven't already, folks, like the stream, share the stream. No donations because we're not monetized, but that's probably a good thing because then people won't donate and then charge back, and then I won't be in mountains of debt.
Oh boy.
And nobody can call you a grifter either.
That too. This show is literally built on a budget of 0. But 2.5 is African Indie Game Award.
But anyway, we said like some good things about the Saudis, so now you might actually do well.
Yeah.
African. Speaking
Hold
of sand people,
I gotta get ready for this topic.
that's all right. African Indie Game Awards explored. Where are all the spears? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know for a fact that if this was awarded a year ago, Tales of Kanzera Zhao would have won it because of the whole Speargate controversy. As Jose is getting ready to do something, I have no idea. Oh, what's he wearing there? Some kind of he's wearing the Africa thingy. Oh my goodness! But I'll just share my screen just to let everyone know. Courtesy, because I found this through it wasn't through Smash JT, it was through someone else, but that someone else sent me a link to this. Courtesy of Smash JT. Let me just zoom in because my eyesight is absolutely terrible. Reality is stranger than fiction. Don't worry, Byron, we'll get your thoughts first. And what was my mentor's response? Oh, it was Jose who recommended this to my mentor. But Jose was like, oh, Lord, mentor, is going to get himself in trouble again. And my mentor says, where are the spears? I wonder who would have won this award last year. And of course, my mentor says again, Smash, reality is based. And you look, there's Jose with his Wakanda Forever thingy. But yeah, reality is stranger than fiction. It comes courtesy of Asmongold's clip section, in which Asmongold is appalled by the nominees for the African Indie Game Award. Why is he appalled? Is he a racist? Why are you appalled? We should support African-made games like Get the Milk, Finding Father.
No, you're doing it wrong, Digni. Get the milk, Finding Father, and I kill ya.
He then goes on.
This time, I want to go ahead with saying this award doesn't do those titles any favors.
Well, that's true, but we're going to have to let Byron get his perspective first. But let's see. Does that compromise the image? Sorry, folks, I'm a bit new to StreamYard, obviously, because this is the first show I've ever done guys. First show ever. Okay.
First show ever.
Yeah. Like the stream. Hopefully we can get to 20 likes. But let's play this clip.
African Indie Game Award.
The light in his eyes go out.
His soul just dropped. His soul left his body. He's like, African Indie Awards, what?
Okay, Asmongold. Who's the advanced racist now?
Oh.
Yeah, Asmongold, why are you being a bigot?
He's completely lost for words.
What? I kill ya? Why would you say this?
His eyebrows are reacting to the situation far differently to the rest of his face.
Like I don't. Is this like a rogue dev? Like, I mean, it had to have been like this is the top like in terms of like prime real estate, the top one in the middle is the prime real estate. And you put that one there and you nominate that one. This is like, yeah, it feels like this is satire. Get the milk? I get the milk, finding father, and I kill you. I can't, guys. This is crazy. That's crazy to me. You know, on Twitter, yeah, Blueska.
Half of them aren't even black.
Oh boy.
Oh. So these are the guys that cooked up. You guys are the ones that are cooking this up, doing this. Maybe you didn't do the list, but you're at least up here talking about it. You guys thought that Megabonk shouldn't be on the list for Game of the Year. You guys thought Ball Pit shouldn't be on the list for Game of the Year. But you had a couple of video games. Guys, we have to do something about these people. We got to do something about them.
Well, Asmongold, the last time anyone tried to do something about these people ate them.
That's why they're fat.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly. But let's get Byron's perspective first because his phone battery is running out of power. So let's get your perspective, Byron, and then whenever you need to, just dip out when you need to. But what do you make of the African Indie Game Award?
My initial thought when I saw the titles that were listed was probably much the same as Asmon's are in this clip. My immediate thought was some groiper operating under a pseudonym must have put these games together in slapdash fashion and thrown them out there to be nominees. And I understand the use of pseudonyms very well because Stephen King had a failure of a movie come out recently for The Long Walk, which was a book he first published under the name Richard Bachman. Pseudonyms are nothing new to entertainment. So I immediately thought some groiper decided to put together some slapdash games and submit these as a great big middle finger fuck you to the whole notion of we're going to separate out via means of DEI categorization, and everyone's special and deserves their own ethnic award show. Even though we're supposed to be anti-racist, we're going to go ahead and throw out some racist titles and exclude anyone who's not of African descent from this specific award show. That was my immediate clusterfuck thought, was this is ideal for someone who wants to throw a great big middle finger wrench in the works. So I completely sympathize with Asmongold's reaction. There's another smaller part of my brain going, no, this is someone who is very clever, possibly throwing these titles out there to see what their reaction from the broader public is going to be so that they can collectively put together a gotcha for anyone who laughs.
I'm laughing. I don't give a damn. I'm actually
It's
sharing.
fucking hilarious.
Byron. I'm sharing the graphic for Get the Milk because I think you need to see this before you go.
Yes, I want to see this closer up.
This is the artwork for Get the Milk. By the way, when we talk about caricatures.
Oh my God! It's like it's as if the mighty Keith got a hold of the art direction team from The Simpsons, and this is their awful child product.
Get the milk.
I'm telling you, folks, if Nick Fuentes plotted all this and one of these three games gets African Indie Game of the Year award, it only proves him right.
Yo, brother, you gonna get the milk?
Indeed. Indeed.
Good Lord. All right. Well, I am going to get going. Yep. I want to thank you for having me on your inaugural Digni System Crash show. Yeah. It's been a pleasure. It's been, I would say, a privilege, but given the shit that we've had to deal with here, I need to go scrub my third eye with bleach. So hopefully you gents have an excellent day. To everyone in the chat and the show, either watching live or on replays or clips that will be thrown together, I do hope that you have a pleasant day and that you can find some peace and laughs in it all.
Thank you, brother.
Go
Always.
get the milk, Byron.
Get that milk,
Bye
brother.
for now. Oh, bye for now, my good man. Jose, what do you make of
See ya,
the
Byron.
African Indie Game Award?
Well, first of all, someone clearly already got the milk because that baby is definitely mixed. That I have to say right now. But you know what? I will say that as far as these games go, I mean, this has got to be the most absurd thing I've ever heard. You know, it's also if a game is going to win on its merits, if it's going to be African Game of the Year, that's like separating it. That's like you're saying that the game isn't good enough to win Game of the Year. We have to sequester it to just Africa. If the game is able to win Game of the Year, it should be able to do that on its own merits. So I do think it's ridiculous to sort of make this separate category. As Byron said, it's almost like a gotcha so that they can say, oh, well, you're being mean if you're making fun of this. But, you know, how else am I supposed to take something like this? Am I supposed to look at this and say that this is going to be the next Clear Obscure Expedition 33 is Get the Milk? I mean, I don't even know what the hell that is. That baby looks like it's got a few extra chromosomes, if you know what I'm saying. But, you know, hey, I mean, I guess incest is prevalent in that part of the world. So, I mean, I don't know what else I can say that wouldn't end up in a Speargate situation looking at this thing.
Nah, it's perfectly fine. We're not on a prominent show saying all this stuff. So everything is fine. You can say crazy things on a 200 sub channel, but you can't say the same things when the channel has 100K subs. I'll tell you that right here, right now. But one thing's for sure, folks. We're having a fantastic time here so far, and we appreciate you all for aiding and abetting that. We're either at or getting close to 20 likes to the stream. I think that's a fantastic success considering that the size of this channel. Look, if we can get to 23 likes, that's 10% of
23 likes.
Oh dear. But Plamini, what do you make of the African Indie Game Awards? What do you make of Get the Milk? What do you make of what was the other one called?
I killed ya and
Finding Father.
Yeah, first time hearing about this, first time seeing this, but honestly, to me, this like just looks like a work of like a really racist troll. But if not, if this is somehow legit, then it goes to prove that maybe if this is actually done by someone with an African origin, then it proves that they have like a sense of humor about themselves. But anyway, this to me looks like just like a work of like a really racist troll. So yeah.
Well, it just goes to show where things are going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the reaction to all of this from the X community. The usual suspects.
Oh no.
Where's the White Game Award? What else? I can't. There we go. Scrolling down. Didn't do nothings.
Oh boy.
Yeah. That's a good one. Ahmed is behind it. What else? Judge Judy clip. Finding Father. That's fine. And
Mom said he had the snow.
I know, man.
Newports.
It's real. It is real. December 18th, 3:30 p.m. What is it? Is that Pacific or no? It's 6:30 p.m. Eastern. December 18th. When's that? December 18th, ladies and gentlemen, is sadly on a Thursday, so we won't be able to do it on this show. We might be able to do it on the Empress's show, but she might not be as amused as we are in regards to this situation.
I mean, we could do it on the Sunday show if Empress doesn't do it.
It's all right. It's all right. That'd be a good idea. In fact, we can get the reaction of Graper Incorporated, as it were. But it just goes to show that there's a lot of interesting reactions to this.
It's my reaction to the indie awards. It's like it's definitely it's like a racist thing because it's like how is this making like Africans look good at all? It's like you're just putting random shit together, like I kill you and all that. It's like what's the point of all this? And not only that, but it doesn't even look good. Like the art style doesn't even look good. The art style looks shit. All of it looks terrible. It's like this is definitely a terrible awards. And if I was African, I would be disgraced by this. I would find this thing disgraceful.
So
hey Boogie, why is there a crowbar in the fridge, brother?
Is this from
This is from Get the Milk.
This is from Get the Milk.
Yeah, that's so disgraceful. It's not even good artwork at all.
Why is everyone in their underwear? Like,
I know, like look at this. Like what is this?
It's very intriguing, and I
wait, and also why aren't the characters African if it's an African indie award?
Well, they are African. Don't you notice their big lips and their massive heads?
Now, the point is that the awards are the problem, not the games. I'm completely fine with those games. This is basically a point-and-click adventure. It's bonkers. This is the indie scene. So basically, we need to get rid of all award shows, especially the established ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no place.
A German telling you need to get rid of the things kind of like puts it in another dimension.
Yes, but it benefits you, Plamini, because that means no more Serbs to oppress you.
No, like we are the closest one to them. Come on, we don't want anything to happen.
Oh dear.
I'm just glad St. Hugo has a solution.
Yes, to a very
award shows are a joke. They always have been.
Exactly.
The Oscars, Grammys,
Like,
you name it.
Whatever like dark joke you say with a German accent, like makes it like way funnier, like way darker.
I know.
It's the institutionalization of any industry is bad for it. And award shows are very much that, part of that problem. I think about it like, growing up, I didn't give a damn what the MTV Music Awards wanted me to listen to. Most of the shit I would listen to was underground or it was independent. It was not something that was getting radio play. It was not something that was getting, the rub of a stupid little golden statue to take home. Once you corporatize it, then it comes with a batch of corporate problems. And we've seen that in gaming. We've seen that in television, movies, entertainment, and everything else.
Probably Slay. It's probably somewhere. Otherwise, it wouldn't get knocked up for an award. But on that note, folks, I think we got just about enough time to cover this situation. 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 59 seconds. We like to keep it at 2-hour shows, but we might go slightly over, unfortunately. 2.6 is YouTube charges Camelot 331 in unprecedented donation chargebacks. Now, folks, this is a damn shame. This is an absolutely shameful thing. It's quite frankly terrifying because the repercussions of this, if it happens to more creators, would be that the only creators that can survive in the long term are creators with a budget of 0. Nothing coming in, nothing going out. Like this channel, for example. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out, and we can continue continuously and have a laugh and be unprofessional and say crazy things and probably get wiped out in a few years, that sort of thing. But this is courtesy of Camelot 331, known as Camelcast Official on X. His name is not Corey. I always call him Corey for some reason. Cody Dennison, and he is most well known for being a content creator and a NASCAR driver. As Triton coughs his guts out because he's smoking something that's illegal in most of the world. Courtesy of Camelot, quote.
I thought it was smoking that Smash JT.
But
oh damn! Hey,
that was a Smash JT pack, but actually I got a card for it, so it's legal. Not breaking no law.
You got a license for that? You got a license for your?
Actually, I got it renewed today.
Oh damn!
Straight to jail. Take him straight to jail.
Hey, at Team YouTube, why is YouTube suddenly charging me $100 a day? Ooh. I've never seen negative earnings, and they're hitting every day now. But if we go into the guy's main account, and yes, Camelot does follow my mentor, because I don't have an X account of my own, because I don't know how the internet works. We just scroll down. This is, of course, the NASCAR stuff, which came as a result of Camelot becoming a prominent creator, building up contacts, getting a lot of revenue, and getting to this period of time. He loves doing that, and he managed to live that dream, but it's soon going to turn into a nightmare if this carries on, folks.
Did he criticize Israel before this happened?
No, that's the craziest thing. And this is coming courtesy of Yeet with the smiley face, who screenshotted Camelot's, quote tweet of this, which is what I was looking for. YouTube Studio, hopefully you can all see this, folks. YouTube Studio support said someone charged back over a 120-day period. That's between $10,000 to $20,000. So as a result, the house is going on the market next week. See you later, YouTube. It's been real. Because
this is why you don't sell your soul to pay pigs, or even let pay pigs be a thing on your channel, because they'll do shit like this as soon as they get pissed off at you.
This could have been like a child using like its parents' stolen credit card. So.
True. But the thing is, this is completely unprecedented, right? I haven't seen this in the last few months I've been a content creator. My mentor hasn't seen anything like this over the past few years as a content creator and live streamer. This is
I've never seen anything like this either, and I've seen a lot of stupid situations with Team YouTube.
This is quite frankly terrifying, because I'm not saying this is going to happen to every prominent creator. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, it only takes a few of these situations to happen for everyone to get spooked. It's like, why bother monetizing a channel anywhere? Not just on YouTube, but anywhere. Why bother being a content creator and making this into a business if we get all these chargebacks and I'm going to have to sell my house or remortgage my house and get a 50-year fucking mortgage?
Well, I mean, think about it this way. Let's say you're a content creator and people, donate this money to you, and you think, yeah, you can, put money down on a house, or you could pick up, the things that you need. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, there's just a chargeback and everything comes crumbling down. People can use this maliciously to just upend your entire life. And that's what's happening to this guy, to a point where, again, it's like, what do you do in this situation? Because it almost seems like it's wrong to do this, entirely just screwed up.
It's morally wrong, but this is perfectly legal, because our politicians are dinosaurs who know nothing about the digital world. And I want to make this clear.
Digni, how do I open PDF?
I don't actually know how to do that, but which is very annoying, because I have to un-PDF my CV, or resume, as you Americans call it. But the thing about this, right, is not just the fact that this chargeback happened. It's happening over a 3-month period, which means, let's say Camelot, let's say he gets $10,000 a month, just for argument's sake. Gets $10,000 a month, last 3 months, $30,000. Okay, right? He has that now in his account. For all we know, he might have gone on a spending binge. He is a bit of a party animal sometimes, and just spends it all and has the time of his life. Then he gets the chargebacks. Now he's $30,000 in debt. No wonder he's like, I better remortgage my house or sell my house, because that's the position he finds himself in, folks. And it's all on the creator. It's got nothing to do with the platform. It's got nothing to do with the person actually asking, or people asking for the chargeback. This seems like a malicious attack to me, a literal bait and switch, as it were, folks. Because of this, a precedent is now set where content creators are going to have to keep 3 months worth, or actually 4 months worth, rather, of their donations, just in case they get a chargeback over a 4-month period. And that is going to really sabotage a lot of creators' efforts to keep on going and keep on growing.
This is way more. This is like way more dangerous than you're even like saying, because like, what's like the time limit? Like, imagine like if this happened, like, and he had to reimburse like for the last 3 months. Like, who cannot say that Imagine you like get a imagine
well,
like you get a donation like and it goes by a year, you spend the money, and now like
I think the time limit
you
is
owe like a
100.
huge donation from a year back. Like, what's the time period? Like,
Well, I
when
think
is
the
it
time
okay to spend the money? That's what that's why my main question is like,
well, the
do
time
they
limit
have
is 120 days, right?
okay, so then it means like whatever you earn, you should not like withdraw or spend in the next 120 days. Yeah.
Which would completely destroy even the most prominent creators who are doing this as a business, because you can't just hold on to 4 months worth of capital, folks.
But it could have been worse.
No. Oh, yeah, definitely, and I think the more pushback there is on this situation, the more likely this will be reversed. But if this precedent is set, game over, man. Game over. The only creators who will
the next problem I have with this is like you are obviously like withdrawing from your AdSense account. So what if you like withdraw everything from your AdSense account and now you're like in a debt to YouTube? So
that's exactly what's happened.
Indentured
It's
servitude to YouTube.
Now for Camelot, it's probably like AdSense minus $10,000 to $20,000.
Yeah, but does YouTube have like the muscle men that are gonna come like knocking on your door? Like, what is this?
Of course they do. Of course they do. All they'll do is hire a third-party bailiff, and they will seize assets, just like any other.
This is beyond fucked up.
YouTube needs a chargeback policy so these people can't be continuing doing this, because I feel like that would fix a lot of things if they had a chargeback policy, because that's what PayPal has.
Yeah. Instead of me trying to actually be a YouTuber, I might just like apply to like their newest program to be the YouTube muscle, you know, just like show them that you can do like a biceps curl and then you become their muscle.
Well, just take a look at this post.
How does this even happen?
Don't do this to YouTubers. Do this to OnlyFans thoughts. At least they deserve it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Rub salt in the wound. YouTube actually liked my post. This is from Camelot. YouTube actually liked my post of me saying,
"What the?"
YouTube told me I am shit out of luck.
Oh man. You know, I'll tell you this right now, and I know this is probably going to get me in trouble with this isn't going to earn me any goodwill with Rumble. Right now, Chris Pavlovsky is rubbing his hands together.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Come to Rumble.
Oh, the exclusivity deal, man, with Camelot would be golden for a site like Rumble, and would only reinforce the institutionalization of that platform. But to answer Hugo's point of how can this be allowed to happen, this is perfectly legal, Hugo, on all platforms, by the way.
Not
all
this
content
actually work.
What?
I didn't mean to ask how is this allowed. How is this actually working?
Oh, it's working very simply. These people say we get $100 in donations right here, just as a hypothetical. We get 60%. YouTube, say the tax man gets 10%, and YouTube gets 30%. So we get 60% of $100, pounds, euros, right? So that's 60. Okay, we have that 60 in our AdSense, right? And every month they send it to the bank account. Few months go by, let's say 4 months, you got 60 a month, so that's $240 a month, and then everyone charges back, right? So you owe YouTube $240, pounds, or euros, and if you don't pay it, they will seize assets by hiring a third-party bailiff, most likely in a country of your national origin.
Here's Rhoda's brother, Nick Ricada, sort of explaining.
Oh, damn.
Not just like one big, donation. It's a bunch of smaller donations being charged back.
Yes.
So that's this is an attack.
It's a targeted attack, and it will most likely be. Unfortunately, it will most likely be successful. I know my mentor isn't the biggest fan of Nick Ricada, especially how he fell from grace. Hopefully, he's on the road to recovery. I know Nick had a good talk with Camelot and Zia Anderson. And Zia is a wonderful woman, both inside and out. So I think he's being successfully rehabilitated, for lack of a better term. But this sets a terrifying
Well,
precedent.
just never put the Sonichu medallion on. Yep.
No, never
Level
do
1
that.
And
million
lay off the
trolling.
cocaine.
Done that
Ironically, I
too.
have to say something positive about Nexus mods now.
Mhm.
I put out some mods last year just for fun, and by now some donation points have accumulated, and I checked how that actually works like a month ago, and they actually keep the donation points, which you can pay out via PayPal, for example, pending for 3 months. So you can fuck up until all of those are actually verified.
Well, that's one good thing about Nexus mods, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully they put it in a quiz somewhere in that regards, folks. But this is this sets a terrifying precedent, and if it's allowed to continue, more creators will be attacked in a similar way. And not every creator can remortgage their house. Not every creator can sell their house or their car to pay for this, which means if it happens often enough, some creators will be like, look, man, we're not going to stay monetized anymore.
They're going to put people into actual bankruptcy.
That too. That too. It's something we'll probably talk about more next if we do a show next Wednesday. I think we had a fantastic show this Wednesday. So if you guys want to be on Wednesdays, the door is always open. I've got a few people who can make next Wednesday too, in case some of you guys cannot. But I'm going to write down future plans: 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 30 seconds. Now, Jose, bashing Rumble on YouTube actually helps us on YouTube. So please keep bashing Rumble on here. Okay, so Jose,
Rumble's dead. Rumble's gay.
No, as much as I want to bash Rumble, obviously we have canceled this podcast. It is too crude for YouTube. We are sometimes too raunchy for Rumble, especially when my co-host John gets drunk. But that's besides the point. We'll be live tomorrow at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where politics meets pop culture with snark, sarcasm, and satire. I do need y'all's help, even if y'all turn up your nose at Rumble or don't like it very much, to hit 3K just to prove a point that I don't need the rub of the institutions at Rumble to make it up to the top.
Or tits.
I would appreciate
You don't need tits either.
Well, you know what? If I get any fatter, I might actually have those, but that's besides the point.
Show your mother's tits.
Oh,
And he can still
she
be
only has
based,
one.
you don't
She's
have
a
to
breast
change your
cancer
personality.
survivor.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
But that being said, we hope to, have a good time tomorrow. It'll be myself, John, and Digni. I think you're scheduled to be on tomorrow night's show. So
yes.
we'll be
yes. I
hanging
managed to make one video from yesterday's talk with John. It'll be released tomorrow, and the title is "Who is Bubba? Is President Trump gay for Bill Clinton?"
Oh, that's gonna get some traction. But yeah,
hopefully that does well. Hopefully, the multiple times John says pedo and gay and retarded don't cause any problems.
Tomorrow or tonight, I'll probably be doing some kind of gaming. I mostly play JRPGs on there. I don't know. I'll be doing Dragon Quest 1 and 2 or Atelier of Ryza, just to further piss off the type of people that mostly game on Rumble, because they all are FPS slop whores who probably are fighting the 50-foot tall weird white guy in Black Ops 7 right now. But I will be gaming tonight as well, which I tend to do throughout the week. And of course, like you said, Digni, you just did yesterday's show with John. That's on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's happy hour. So there's always something going on, except Friday I'll be hanging out with my girlfriend in real life, who I keep off the camera to keep away from Digni, because I don't want to get any ideas.
Oh, you don't want Digni stealing your bit. I'm kidding.
No, I don't want him wanting to throw her on a camera. She's her boobs and her backside are a little bit too nice for me to do that. All right, I don't want him to start pestering me for that. All right.
Oh my! But thank you for that, Jose. What about you, Plamini? Any future plans for yourself?
Yeah, I basically plan to make like a new video like tomorrow or the day after, like a new short. I got like one short that did 20,000 views, and I plan to make a part 2. So yeah, if you guys want to subscribe, hugely helpful. And yeah, I plan also to do like because I just like finished up the working season, and now I have a bit more time. a bit more ideas I want to go through, and I will, yeah, basically, in the next few days are short, then a few long form videos, and then like just see and go from there.
I'll tell you this, folks. Plamini is a great content creator. Unfortunately, his work schedule means that from about May until October, the start of May until the end of October, he's barely available. But from November until April, he is available. So the door's always open for you, Plamini, especially if this pilot is considered a green light success to go forward until episode 5, where we have a 5-episode review. What was that, Jose?
Oh, I've got breaking news. I'm going to be on with Jay Viper tomorrow at 4 p.m. because that works my schedule. So
well done, my good man. Yes, Jay Viper, criminally underrated creator. We should have him on sometime soon for a network show, because he can always carry himself well. What about you, Triton? What are your future plans?
So tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST, I'll be re-interviewing Chuddy, a Christian Nigerian citizen that's in Nigeria going through the Nigerian genocides, and he's coming back to come back on the show to basically give updates on what's going on in Nigeria and speak out about the horrible stuff going on over there.
That situation is serious, man.
Yeah. And he's really a peaceful guy too. And then after that, Sunday, I'll be doing a network show with Digni, and we'll be basically, covering like all sorts of, crazy fun topics related to like gaming news and all that, and also other dramas and stuff.
Yep. Sunday will be our crazy show with Triton and myself and a guy who can't sit straight. He like sits at a 90 or 45-degree angle. That guy. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Because I'll be like, sit up straight, you. And he'll probably go, but what about you, Hugo, or Hugo, one of those? Hugo a go-go? What are your future plans?
I'm currently trying to get some game mechanics to run based on reading out and analyzing sounds. But that will take a lot of time. The idea is, well, you all know visualizers for music. And I want it to be used for camera angles, slow motion, and so on. And all of that is supposed to go in the project I'm actually working on.
Good. Because Hugo is a very talented creator, folks. He's also a part-time game dev, and he knows how to program stuff, which is always very interesting. And, folks, I think this is a very interesting clip, so I'm going to bring it up, despite the fact that we are in the future plans section. Why? Because I find it funny. That's why. Have you ever seen a blender turned into a helicopter?
What in the world?
You see, folks, Europeans can turn blenders into helicopters before Africans can make helicopters.
But they can get the milk.
Is this like a German invention?
No.
That's
only Americans would be mad enough to conceive of this, unfortunately. But here we go.
What in the world?
What in the?
Good thing Obama isn't president, or he learned how to make that take people out.
Wait a minute.
He also turned out to spyware too.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
Imagine like
Does
3
it
in the
come
morning,
equipped
something
with
like
guns?
this flies by your
Guys.
house and looking through your window.
Look, it's not racist. I had my Africa pendant on from
No, it's
Resident Evil
not
5
racist, folks. Because, guys, to quote Peacemaker Season 2,
But he
One
cannot
got
be
out.
racist. He's Mexican. Like, how can he be racist?
black.
Yeah, Jose's Mexican and he gives us the racist pass.
No, a black person made this.
Oh boy!
Impossible.
It's like an enemy from a Sonic game. What the hell?
Yeah.
And there's also a floating spider, which means this is probably AI.
Oh no! I see
Thank
it.
So
goodness.
this is
Right.
vegan Sonic?
No, this is fantastic. It reinforces my point that only AI would make it so that a black person could make a flying blender, ladies
Is
and gentlemen.
there a spider flying too?
Yes, on a balloon. So it's AI, it's not real, which is good. It's very good, in fact.
Yeah, you would
But,
need two rotors rotating opposite to each other.
yes. Thank you, German engineer. But my
Couldn't help
future
myself.
well, my future plans, folks, expect more network videos, expect more network shows, and expect more network videos from said network shows. It's like a song, isn't it? Tomorrow, the 40K Empress will be live. I think we'll be having a regulars rampage, talking about various topics of the day. Friday, we're going to have Sir Slender on the show, and we're also going to have Damien back on, and we're going to switch out Zine for Damien because Zine has a show to prepare, so we're going to give Zine plenty of time to prepare that show. And then for Saturday, Stark of Iron will be live with his panel of great people. Sunday, of course, debuting Ravencast in the network, so that's going to be interesting. And of course, I will be on Cancel This Podcast on Thursday night, which is going to be fantastic. So I don't have to look at a massive blaring light. Wink, wink. Nod, nod. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching the debut episode of Digni System Crash. Links for all of our guests are in the description down below. They're ats on YouTube, so you can find them. Topics are also linked down below. We might put the timestamps down, but then again, we would do better to make those timestamps into videos so that you watch those for the replay. Gotta milk that viewership somehow, folks. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and no other degenerate groups, bye for now, folks.
Peace.
Thank
What
you,
kind
guys.
of